This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com. Hey everybody, welcome to War and Pieces. Today we are going to be talking about, I have to say this much. This designer is really doing some amazing work. And David Thompson, I've had my eye on him ever since, Pavlov's House. Then there was Undaunted Normandy, which was just unbelievable and just fantastic. And then, well, Castle Itter, the strangest battle of World War II. All I'm going to tell you is, I did a live playthrough of this. Go check it out. I'm going to talk a little bit about this, but definitely go check out the live playthrough of this. You're really going to like it. Let's go down the table and just get a brief overview of this fantastic experience. So I'm not going to go over through everything here, but we're going to talk a little bit about what goes on here. This is really amazing, and if you are a fan of Pavlov's House, then you recognize some of the things here. Now, everything goes off this timer more or less. And basically, what you're going to be doing is you're going to have 5 actions. So at the beginning, all these units start off the table. And then you're going to be able to put in 5 units at a time. Basically 5 actions. You'll still get to use them. But when you use a unit, you are going to exhaust it. You cannot unexhaust it unless you have a commander there, which is going to help you unexhaust everything. Now, as you can see, there's some of these shields here. What's going to be happening is you're going to be getting bombarded, and some of these cards are going to do some really nasty things. Now, every time you're going to go through your 5 actions, which you're going to be trying to knock off these guys that are all around here. But why are they all around there? What are they doing? Well, on the SS turn, what's going to happen is you're going to draw 3 of these cards from the top of the deck. And the deck is built in sections. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. You have to get to the bottom of this deck in order to win. So you have to outlast all this. Unless you are able to get one of these French off the board to go shuffle in this 142nd Infantry Regiment, which, if this card is pulled, the game ends immediately. What happens is you're going to draw 3 cards. And when you draw these 3 cards, you are going to place them. You're going to roll 2 dice, and as you can see, underneath each one of these is numbered 2 to 12. And this one here says place 2 scouts, where you're going to roll. And let's just say, for the sake of sake, that the scouts come in on 2. You're going to place one here, and this one's going to move up. We rolled another 2. This one's going to come here, that one's going to go there. So they start to swarm in there. If you're unable to kill these, and they're able to get inside the keep, the game ends and the SS wins. Now there's a lot of really neat things that happen. You have mortars that do not advance any of the units, that they just sit here and take pot shots at you. There's also cards in the deck here that are going to lower the defense value of the keep. Once it gets to its lowest point, it's going to disrupt. And by causing disruption, well, that's not a great thing, because you can take 1 disruption and then hopefully clear it with an action. But if you ever take 2 disruptions, you are going to be removed from the game. And you only have a certain amount of units, as we have here, where, as you can see, there are just a ton of SS. And once you get all these onto the board, then you can start moving in these French. Now, they all have different abilities. Some are tank commanders, like over here we have the Besatin Jenny, which is a tank, and only tank drivers can go in here. This is going to give you more of an advantage, because what's going to happen is that you can kind of control this whole area here along with this gatehouse. But the problem that you'll run into is that if this ever goes down to 0, anybody that's in here is completely taken out of the game. And believe me, there are cards in this deck that are just filthy. Okay, you're going to have all kinds of stuff that are going to disrupt you. You have mortars, machine gunners that are also sit on the outside and do not push things forward. But it's cards like this, the 75 pack 40, where you're going to roll and it is going to do an attack with 4 dice against any one of these areas. And when it does that, that's how these get lowered. So now where you would normally need a 6 to do any kind of damage, well, if it ever gets disrupted, I mean gets hit, it goes down to a 5 or 6, and then 4, 5, or 6. And that's when things really, really, really get nasty, and they do get nasty. There's also a way on our friendly tokens on the US here that you, on the left hand side, you can do one attack. One attack is where you can attack anybody, well, depending on where you're at. If you're on the green, you can only attack the green areas. Okay, but to the right there is suppression, and you can exhaust somebody and take suppression. And as you see, if you're in a green area and you decide to exhaust, you would get 2 suppression. And what that is that if any enemy decides to try to come in, say for instance he wants to come in here, you can use a suppression, roll your dice to try to beat his number, which is 3, which I did, which means he does not come onto the board. Suppression, though, is hard to build up, because if things start happening in other areas and stuff like that, you really want to be careful and not use up too much of your suppression. You want to be balanced. The whole thing is trying to keep them out of this castle, but the problem is that everything just kind of closes in on you very quickly, because these 3 cards are nasty. I mean nasty from the beginning all the way to the end, and good luck trying to survive this. So that, in a nutshell, is the basics of this fantastic experience, Castle Itter, the strangest battle in World War II. Let's go up top and get my final thoughts. Like I said, I didn't explain a lot of stuff. I wanted to show you everything, but if you have a chance, go check out the live playthrough I did. This game is amazing. I mean, that's the best way to put it. I mean, anything this guy touches just turns to gold. And I'm telling you right now, this is just another fantastic, wonderful experience that anybody can play. You do not have to be a hardcore wargamer to play this, but this is something that offers a lot of strategy, a lot of fun. It could be stressful at times, but in a good way. It just plays, and once you get a turn or 2 in, it just flows. It is this just beautiful experience, and I highly suggest that you guys check this out. David Thompson, I mean, let's just face facts, this kid's a genius, and I just look forward more and more anything that he puts out. And it's been a long time since I've taken a designer and I go, because I'm not a guy that follows a lot of designers, but just anything this guy touches has my interest. And what he's done with this is just fantastic. Taking such a unique time period and the end of the war and how everything works out, just wonderful. And I highly suggest this game if you can get your hands on it. It's a funny thing. I was so looking forward to this game, and then Miniature Market finally got this game in, and I snagged this thing up the minute it came in, and finally got it here today, a few days ago, and have just enjoyed it ever since. I highly suggest it. If you can get it, go to Dan Verssen Games, get it, or check Miniature Market and pick up a copy. You will not be disappointed. Until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon.